So the moment that I had with Ian Garry tonight, I am absolutely positive I've never had before. Never in my entire life. I have not missed a UFC pay-per-view since 2001 when Tito Ortiz fought Ken Shamrock. And not one time have I had a more profound certainty about a guy's career based on such a large number of factors that went into Ian Garry's performance tonight. Again, I am positive that this guy is going all the way. I mean, look, dude, he beat Neil Magny, right? Nothing against Neil Magny. He beat Neil Magny, right? Anybody who acts as if the fact that he beat Neil Magny and he beat him badly, that on its own indicates that, oh, this guy's headed for greatness, have them explain to you why. Ian Garry, I'm telling you, out of 22 years of watching this sport, never in my entire life have I been so positive that a guy is going all the way at this stage of his career, because he's going all the way. Bet your life on that, dude. Bet your life on that. And again, we're not talking kicks and punches, dude. Other channels are going to, oh yeah, like he looked incredible. All the way he mixed up the strikes and all that. And yes, that was incredible. That's not what I'm talking about, though. That is not what I'm talking about. And I actually want to start with a clip. Let me show you this clip really quick, and then we'll jump more into it. Watch this, okay? I just want you to listen to the question he's asked, and then listen to the answer, and then we're going to continue, okay?
Do you feel like the fight with Wonderboy would be like a title eliminator? You're somebody that's kind of been calling his shots, right? Like, so what would that fight mean, or would you still need one more for
No. I'm not going. No, 4 more.
Okay.
4 more. I'm not rushing. I'm 25 years of age. I don't need to rush. I need to develop my skill set to be the best I possibly can be, because when I hold that belt, there's nobody taking that belt off me. I'm retiring as the champion. I'm retiring as one of the greatest of all time, and nobody's going to come close to me. Yeah. I want to beat Wonderboy. I want to have that title as the greatest striker in welterweight history. That's what I want, and I need to beat Wonderboy to do that. But then there's a lot of grapplers in the division. I'm going back to Brazil. I'm going to jump on a plane soon. I'm going to go back to Brazil, and I'm going to absolutely hound jiu-jitsu out of it. I'm going to work on my wrestling, and I'm promising you now, when those guys shoot, when those guys feel the speed and the kicks that I have and the power that I have in my hands and just the understanding of striking, when they shoot, they're just going to go, fuck, he's just as good on the ground.
Why is that important? Right? Why is that answer important? All right, 10-second stop. I wanted to tell you guys that all the magic happens every month right after the pay-per-views. If you guys could please help me out by liking the video and then commenting on the video and telling me what you think, I promise I'm going to read every single comment. Seriously, on this channel, we have a policy. The cost to watch my content is just subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you would just put the quarter in the jar by clicking that button one time and then forget about it. The answer is, that's a guy who's 25 years old, who has just demonstrated skills at age 25, damn near as good as anybody who's ever been in the UFC at age 25, okay? And when they ask him, what does this mean for you? He doesn't say like, oh, he doesn't have some kind of wishy-washy answer, okay? He doesn't have some kind of, well, whatever the UFC wants to do, or, just one call out and then that's it. He calls out Wonderboy, and he calls him out for a reason. He wants to be the best striker in the history of the 170-pound division, and he needs to beat Wonderboy to be able to say that. He's also not interested. He's not only not interested, he's not going to take a title shot until he has 4 more fights, because he needs to get good enough to where when he wins the belt, he won't lose it ever. Now, why do you think that is? What do you think he's thinking in terms of a 4-year plan? Okay? He's thinking about who he's going to have to fight. There's a lot of grapplers. And he says he's going down to Brazil to get just as good at jiu-jitsu as he is on the feet. Do you doubt that he'll be able to do that? Because I don't. I really don't, dude. I mean, he might not be able to get as good at jiu-jitsu as he is on the feet, because he's absolutely unreal on his feet. But that right there, that is the answer of a fucking champion. Like a real champion. Not somebody who's going to win the belt. Oh, yay. And don't get me wrong, actually. Don't forget that I did that voice, okay? Anybody who won the title, obviously it is one of the most incredible accomplishments that anyone can do in any capacity. The way they won, don't let me even sound like I'm shitting on that. But what I'm saying is that the mindset of a real, once in a generation type of champion, that's what they sound like. That. It doesn't just happen. You know what I mean? Like, these things don't just happen. Like, these things don't just happen. That's my point. These things don't just happen. People have a plan. Tiger Woods grew up with every single one of Jack Nicklaus's records all over his room from when he's 6 years old. He just like broke every record by accident. Ian Garry he's 25, dude. Do you understand how fucking stupid most 25-year-olds are? You know how stupid I was when I was 25? Let me talk about this other thing. So there's that. There's the plan side, right? So he's got a plan. That's very impressive. That's not the end of the story, obviously. The other part of it is how he behaved leading up to the fight. Now, I did videos about this, obviously, and I obviously disagreed with his take on Neil Magny. I do not think Neil Magny was in any way promoting hitting children. That's not what he was doing. That was his attempt at trash talk. Ian Garry took it out of context and behaved as if he was promoting beating kids. We talked about that in other videos. If you want to watch me talk about that, go watch one of those. Okay. And I said, I'm like, either he knows that this take is ridiculous, or he doesn't know and he's dumb. But if he knows and he's doing it anyway, then that's going to be very telling to me. You know, I don't even know if I said this in the video, but my point is like, that's going to be, if he does know that it's bullshit, actually, candidly, now that I'm talking about it, doesn't matter if he knows it's bullshit. Bottom line is, if he can convince himself that this is real, like for real, and then go into the octagon and base his performance on this story that he told himself. I don't believe he's stupid enough to actually think that saying, put a whooping on my boy to teach him to be a man, that is some kind of like huge vengeance, justice. He's Irish, dude. Now, if you've ever considered getting a Ridge wallet, now is the time. What do wallets and performance cars have in common? Hold that thought. Ridge has partnered up again with Hennessy for a summer sweepstakes.
For the first time ever, Hennessy is giving away a Velociraptor Bronco. We've partnered with the Ridge on this beautiful wallet and key holder.
Your next wallet can turn into a Hennessy Bronco Velociraptor. And here's how. Without spending $1, you can enter on their website for a chance to win a brand new upgraded Hennessy Ford Bronco, or $75,000 in cash if you prefer. You get one bonus entry for every $1 you spend on the site, and custom Hennessy products come with up to 1,000 entries. If you use my link, you'll get 10 bonus entries at checkout, and that is ridge.com/Jesse. If you need another reason to buy a Ridge wallet, aside from the fact that I use them, Chael uses them, Mexican Martial Arts uses them, and everybody else uses them, they're bulletproof.
The bullet bounced back. Here.
It also holds up to 12 cards, plus room for cash, while remaining as slim as possible. There are 30 plus colors and styles, including burnt fiber, burnt titanium, forged ember, and burnt Damascus. I have the titanium one. Now, the link is in the description, but all you got to do is go to ridge.com/Jesse, and you use my promo code JESSE to get 10% off. That's JESSE promo code to get 10% off. Do it, son. I met his dad in Jacksonville. He was staying at the same hotel as us. It is impossible to me that he listened to what Neil Magny said and actually believed that. And nonetheless, right, he went all in at the press conference. Now, I will also say his behavior at the press conference, I said this over and over and over since then. It's like, making noise is always better than not making noise. Bottom line. The worst thing that you can be is quiet. The worst thing you can be is someone who blends into the background. If you are being super loud and people are like, oh my God, that guy is cringe. Well, guess what? People remember cringe. Okay? That is the only thing that matters, is, are you memorable? Literally, the only thing that matters. Are you memorable? Okay, I mean, obviously you need to win your fights, but I'm talking about all the, you go to a press conference, sit there. I'm really looking forward to the fight. I think I had a great camp, and, I really want to go out there and show my team, show my family that this is the best version of myself. Get the fuck out of here with that. If you have don't get the fuck out of here. If your desire is to be, a talented UFC fighter, even one that wins lots of fights, but will never hit megastar or high-level star status, then that's fine. If you want to be someone who drives real numbers, who is able to negotiate a really, really large multi-million-dollar contract, then you have to hear what I'm saying and do it. Being memorable is the most important thing, okay? And so if you go up there and you're like, la, 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 and you sound cringe and stupid, it doesn't really matter. It's better if people respond really well to you. That's obviously better. And people love winners more than anything else. But if you're not making any noise, that's your worst. That's the worst case scenario. And so I thought Ian Garry at that press conference was like, he came off kind of to me like he's like this guy's trying really hard. And candidly, I don't really think he took a very good angle because in my opinion, challenging Neil Magny as a father, he's going to fight much harder. Like, I don't think this is going to rattle him. I think you're going to get the best Neil Magny. And I think that was true. I think Ian Garry is that much better than Neil Magny that it just didn't matter. But nonetheless, I wasn't impressed in terms of his like prowess on the microphone or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I was impressed with his ability to be loud and be talking, but like, you know, it wasn't like I was like, wow, this guy's really clever. He's really putting together really strong lines. Nothing like that. But again, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what's in his head, right? Because as long as he's being memorable and whatever's in his head. And the way he interpreted it is he's the biggest star at the show. And Neil Magny is the bad guy. And he went in there, right? He went in there and he fought Neil Magny as if Neil Magny had beat the shit out of his kid. Okay? He fought Neil as if Neil beat the shit out of his kid. And as I was watching that, you know, like, and I said, like, I was watching the fights with Victor Hugo, Philippe, like, anyway, some like world champion guys. And I was saying, like, and I said, I was like, this is one of those guys that he's got one of those minds where he can just lock in a story, very similar to Israel Adesanya. Very similar. Like, he can just lock in a story, and that's what it is, dude. It doesn't matter if it actually. It's like this is what it needs to be for him. And I said midway through the third round when he was fucking annihilating Neil Magny. I mean, this is one of the least competitive fights in like ever. It's 3 10-8 rounds. He beat the living shit out of Neil Magny. And honestly, if he really didn't like Neil Magny, that's the worst kind of beating. Like finishing him would have been a blessing for Neil. You know what I mean? Like if he's really mad at him, then the worst thing you can do is beat the guy into a pulp and not finish him. As I'm sure a lot of you guys know very well. I mean, listen, dude, even if you just train jiu-jitsu, just think about what it feels like when someone who's better than you, bigger than you, is smashing you from the top. You can't breathe. You're suffocating. You are so tired that you literally cannot breathe. And all you're thinking is, please just fucking choke me so I have a reason to tap. And then they won't, you know. They're like, no, you made me use my muscles. You tried hard. So I'm going to torture you. I'm not going to tap you out. I'm going to literally suffocate you. I'm going to make you tap to nothing. You can either tap to nothing like a little bitch, or you can just take this fucking, you know what I mean? That's a way bigger ass kicking than you know, someone you trap someone and choke them. And throughout that whole fight where he had just absolutely dismantled him, he had destroyed both of his legs, hit him 100 times, just destroyed him. And in the middle of that, I said to them, I'm like, I guarantee you that at the end of this round, he's going to get up and he's going to give him the middle finger. And they're like, you think? I was like, yeah, I would bet my life on it. I would bet my fucking life on it. They're like, that he's going to give him the finger at the end of this round. I was like, yeah. They're like, why? I was like, because he's told himself a story that mandates that. I can see it in him. This is the thing, you know what I mean? I can see it in him. He has convinced himself of this story. And that's what's driving this. He's protecting children. Neil Magny is a bad guy. A guy who literally is a career, he dedicated his life to protecting the United States of America. Why do you think I took that shit so personal? You know? Like, why do you think I lit Ian Garry up for that take? is because I'm like, are you serious? Like, this is a career lay it down for the flag guy. You challenge him as a father because he said a little like trash talk thing that just kind of didn't come out right, you know? But he took that thing and turned it into rocket fuel, which, you know, powered his performance, which was absolutely mind-blowingly impressive. He's going all the way, dude. Bet your fucking life on that, dude. Bet your fucking life on that. Whoever he fights, whoever this fucking kid fights, always bet on him, dude. I mean, seriously, he's 25 years old. I'm telling you right now, bet on him every time. He might lose a fight or two. It might happen. But this kid, this is something special. This is something that is a certainty that he's going all the way. A certainty. So that's my take on Ian Garry. I might have had some, let me see if I had any notes, other things that I want to talk about. Oh, that Wonderboy matchup is going to be off the chain, dude. I love why he wants it. He sounds exactly like Israel Adesanya. Okay, I just want to reiterate that, okay? Like he sounds exactly like Israel Adesanya in the way that he's talking. Exactly. He's thinking exactly like Israel Adesanya. This is exactly what Israel Adesanya did. He said he had a plan. He was going to do this many fights. He's going to fight Anderson. Then he's going to get the title. Like you are watching rinse and repeat Israel Adesanya. Except I think Ian Garry is going to be a significantly better fighter. And I realize how insane that sounds. But I don't think this guy's going to have any weaknesses. When he says he's going to go to Brazil, he's married to a Brazilian woman. His last name now is also Machado. And he's going to Brazil, and he's going to throw himself into jiu-jitsu. If you doubt that, given this guy's skill set at 25, and given the fact that, like he said, he had never thrown a kick until 4 years ago, now he kicked Neil Magny, and Neil Magny's legs flew out from under him. Both the first two kicks that he threw, he literally like couldn't like just stand up while being kicked. Now let's talk about that actually before I sign off on him. I can't believe I was going to not even talk about the fucking fight. His speed is absolutely unreal. He is so fucking fast. He is super fast. He's incredibly patient. He doesn't spaz out even when guys are hurt. But when guys are hurt and it is the time to finish, he dives on him, dude. Throwing knees. He goes after him, but he never overcommits. He doesn't put himself at risk. Now, he took one really big shot 2 fights ago, right? Against Yadong or whatever. I mean, obviously, he dirt napped Daniel Rodriguez. He ran through Neil Magny. But the one right before that, he took a huge left hook he did not see that very easily could have been a knockout. I mean, it wasn't like the punch barely missed. I'm talking just the luck of the draw that he didn't get hit with another one when he was stunned or whatever. It was towards the end of the round, if I'm remembering correctly. And now I watched for that stuff. And it was like he did not put himself in a position where that could have happened again. And like, speaking of other 170-pounders that people are really jazzed on, Shavkat. I've thrown this out to like people whose pedigrees in mixed martial arts their credibility is significantly higher than mine. But I will stand by this, dude. That Shavkat has he has an off-button weakness. And that is his head position in terms of when he gets into firefights, standing, his head is straight up and he's so offensive-minded that he will not see a shot coming. If he gets into there is a shot that can put him down. Where he's so focused here and his head is straight up and he's throwing bombs. He's throwing so much heat. But if you can, really use like a trained eye and look at that and be like, I understand, like, of course you naturally are thinking about what it would feel like to get hit with those shots. But what I'm saying is like the guy, there is a punch right there that puts him to sleep based on where his head is and the chances that he's taking and the fact that for sure, if you look in his eyes, he will not see that shot coming. And the Ian Garry, he got hit with a shot like that. And not since. And not that he hasn't got hit with one. He has not taken a risk that made that shot available since then. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, he picked Neil Magny apart, and there was not a moment where he was in like a situation where he was going and he was available to have some huge counter right hook land that he didn't see coming. He did not take that type of chance, even when he had Neil Magny 10-8, 10-8, 10-8. He picked him apart without taking risk. He kicked the legs out from under him, and when Neil got his arms around him, he couldn't take him down. He couldn't take him down. It was a flawless performance. Flawless. And in case you can't tell, I am 100 out of 100 bullish on this kid's career. He's the future. 100%. 100%. Bet your fucking life on it, dude. Now, I'm not saying he's never going to lose. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying he's never going to lose. But a kid right now who just beat Neil Magny, right? A guy who just beat Neil Magny, and I'm saying, like, if you're betting on whether or not this kid will be a champion who defends the belt, I'm saying bet your fucking life on it. I mean, it's a pretty bold statement given where he's at, right? Like, he had a good performance. Have you ever heard me say that about someone at this stage of their career ever? I've been doing this for 3 years. I fucking put up a video or two every single day. Have you ever heard me say something like that? No. I mean, unless I said it about Israel Adesanya. But yeah, I mean, because I know I've never been this bullish on a kid at this stage, but he's going to win the title without any shred of fucking doubt, dude. And he's going to defend it. Now, he says he's going to defend it until he retires. That's a tall order. But he will be one of the greats, barring injury or something like that. He's cringe as fuck on the mic, but it doesn't matter, dude. Because you know what's crazy, too, about that before I sign off on him? He's cringe when he's doing the thing about the, oh, you do the thing. I mean, I talked about this ad nauseum. But you want to know where he's not cringe? He's the opposite of cringe is when he's talking about his fucking career. He sounds like an absolute boss when he's talking about his career. And when he's talking about his fight style and he's talking about his skills, he sounds like an absolute fucking boss. But his suit is too big for him. You're a big star now. Get a tailored suit like Conor. Do exactly what Conor does. Because Conor looks fucking, dude. Nobody wears a suit better than fucking Conor. That's just a fact. But, man. Anyway, that's what I got. Kid doesn't know anything about parenting necessarily, or at least he doesn't know when to not bang on an American hero. But fucking A, he can fight, and he's got the brain to go all the way, dude. And I'm going to actually tell you a story. I'm going to derail this really quick to tell you a story because it's perfect. The fact that he answered that way, it like aligns with the story. Okay, so Giselle obviously is very serious about jiu-jitsu. She wants to train literally it's all she wants to do. Shanji Ribeiro is her professor, an 11-time world champion. She's in a world championship gym. Now, she has a girl also on her team who is one of her best friends named Kylie. This girl is the exact same size, exact same age, and she is unfucking real at jiu-jitsu, okay? And she's the opposite of Giselle in terms of her temperament. So she is the most competitive fucking person I've ever seen in my entire she's going to have to learn to control it because she's only 11. And I mean, she's fierce, dude. The story that I heard about her tonight was that when she first started jiu-jitsu, I heard this from her dad tonight, who's one of my training partners. The first week that she ever started jiu-jitsu, it was a camp, and she was 3 days into the camp. And when she came out, when they picked her up, she was wearing a sweatshirt and she was doing something with her sleeve. And they were like, "What are you doing? What's on your arm?" And she's like, "Nothing." And they're like, "What's on your arm?" And she's pulled up her sleeve and she had 7 names written on her arm. Okay? And they're like, "What's that about?" She's like, "These are the people that tapped me. I don't know what I'm doing now, but these are the people that tapped me and they're the ones that are on my hit list." I was like, are you serious? And they're like, yeah. They were telling me this story to demonstrate that she's crazy. And I thought the first time, like especially the first time I saw her fight in a competition, I'm like, this chick's going to be a world chick. This little girl is going to grow up to be a world champion, dude. And then I just heard that story. I was like, that's the most gangster shit I've ever heard in my life. They're all, really? And I was like, are you fucking serious? Are you serious? They're like, she's embarrassed. And the mom's like, I'm embarrassed. I'm like, you're embarrassed that 3 days into her jiu-jitsu career, she was writing names down on her arm that she needed to remember because that's her hit list because she's going to get them back when she's good enough. That's the origin story of a fucking world champion, like an incredible world champion. That's what that sounds like. I do this for a fucking living, dude. Okay? This is what I do. And that is the origin story of a world champion. And Garry, I would imagine, has similar things like that. That's what I got. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I love you guys. Peace.